in early war, when I started, we thought that everything was just a war, and never been in. We weren't afraid, and we didn't have any bomber yet. But all once, just a few months, we started have American bomb the German, because German was in our city, in Foggia, where I lived, where I was born and raised. And very often, even in the night, sometimes 2-3 times, we hear the siren, and we get up really quick and go underground to try to be safe. But many times we saw things that I really don't ever wanted to see again.
Now, how old were you?
I was about 15, really. So we had, on July the 22nd, it was the last bomber in Foggia, my town, my city. And it was one of the worst ones. They bombed everything. They bombed the railroad, the airport, the post office, the aqueduct, and beside the city. And after so many hours underground, we come out, my parents and I and my sisters and my brothers. We come out, and what we saw, we can hardly walk. It was a lot of smoking, and we can hardly see anything. But we did see, I did see it, saw my family too, see bodies, some without any legs, a horse without any head, children, they got caught in a bomber, building that was down, and you could hear the lament and the voice of some of the people, help, help. It was a terrible thing. So we went to the house, my mom, dad, and the family, we went to the house. It was hardly, we couldn't get anything because it was so much smoking in. All the china in the cabinet was down on the floor. The mirror was broke. It wasn't destroyed completely, but it was I had a little destroyed. And but we had the big picture at the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Blessed Mother. Both of them, they were intact. They didn't have anything, nothing that, even a scratch. Everything was done and destroyed, but those two pictures, they stayed. They were big one, big one. Really, I would say, I don't know, but really large. They were in the bedroom. They were my mom and dad. They go over there and pray quite often. So the only thing that was left to do, we had to start to walk and leave the town. We couldn't stay there because nothing was open, no store, and wasn't any water, and you had to leave. So we started to walk. We started walking to go to toward the town that my mother was born. The name is Termoli, and it's close to the Adriatic Sea. And we started to walk because they were miles and miles, and we had the little children because my brother was in the service, so his wife and children stayed with us. And we started. Which brother was this? My brother, no one of the fascists that killed him.
No, what's his name?
The next one, Peppino, Giuseppe.
Peppino.
Peppino, and he was in the service, so my mom said his wife to stay with us with the children. So we started to walk, and it kind of got dark. So we stopped at this farm, And my mother asked this guy if they had a room for us to stay all night. And then the next morning we would start walking again. And he said that I don't have a room, but you could stay in one of the stalls. And so we did. We slept on the hay all night. When I wake up, I remember waking up just like it was yesterday. I wake up, there was a cow on top of my head, her head on my head. So the man come and milk the cow, and he brought some bread. So we had the breakfast. We had the milk and bread. And after that, we started walk again. And I think it took us 3 days. We did the same thing the next day, stop at the farm. Because there wasn't any transportation. Everything, it was destroyed. It took a while. So we went to the city where my mom was born and raised. It's a sea, it's an ocean over there, and they had the ships coming in. So and the next morning, after we got there, the next morning we find out that it was a ship with the German in it. So we had to leave there too. So we went to this mountain, on a mountain, and we got an apartment. We stayed there, but they were German. They were all German, and my mom was afraid. She lived with the fear that because the German they come in the house, they take the girls with them. They do whatever they want to. And then there was a young man. They took young man. They made him work, and then kill him. And I saw this. I saw this with my own eyes. Thank God it didn't happen to us. But one day, my mom saw that some German coming toward our place. So they told us girls to go upstairs and hide under the bed. My brother too, because I had a younger brother. He was just a child yet. I wouldn't do anything to him. But we went under the bed, and they come in and said, Signorita, they wanted girls. My mom said, I don't have any girls. I was just, I think, 15, and I always liked to kid around and play and be happy. I started to giggle because my mom told them, and I guess that one of them looked upstairs, but he didn't see anything, so they left. And after that, when I come down the stair, my dad didn't like what I did. So he just talked to me. And they was there after the few months, after, I think it was 44, I think, when we went back home.